On this episode of the Procedurally Generated show, Tony celebrates the launch of Overwatch, Shannon has decided video games aren't worth playing, and Ethan something something pink hair. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your question. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, Tony.
What's up, sir?
Nothing.
I played your level today.
Excellent.
People will not understand that because it's completely out of context.
I'll talk about it during my section.
We'll get to that in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Also joining us this week, Shannon.
Hello.
How's it going, sir?
Oh, doing all right.
Go ahead.
No, I'm realizing I'm being an adult sucks. You buy a house and you're like, oh, this is great, and then you realize, oh man.
Yeah, the work has just started.
Everything. Yeah.
You've just done the easy part, buying the house.
It's accurate.
And then all the fun begins. I had to replace all the pipes under my sink this week, or last week, sometime very recently.
I saw those pictures. Tony, you did an excellent job.
So, well, thank you. It's really bad whenever you have a pipe that is missing about half, half the length of the pipe, and there's a huge 1 centimeter wide gap running down the entire half of the pipe. That means water is coming out in your floor everywhere. And that's not.
Well, there's
really
your problem.
something-
It's just the water. I mean,
That's not something you can fix very easily. So I had to go and get all the pipes. I replaced every pipe under the kitchen sink, and had to buy a brand new screwdriver and a hacksaw. So
Tools.
it cost about $30 altogether. The pipes were the cheap part. The tools cost more than the pipes did.
Tony the Tool Man Miller.
That's me. But yes, I now have completely redone PVC piping under my sink, and there has not been a single leak since I fixed it. So,
Tony, the good news is those tools will most likely outlast the piping, so you can use them again.
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. There will be plenty of things that need a hacksaw. I spent, $15 on that hacksaw to cut half an inch of pipe, and that's all I needed it for.
Then you turn around and return and get your money back because they never expect
I don't
it.
think you can do that.
It depends on how well you treated the tool while you used it.
I mean, it's got a little bit of, PVC shavings on it now, but I could wipe those off easy.
Okay. It's time to own up on some things, because when
Have you gotten tool rifle bargains?
I have done that exact thing with when we had the T connector on the radiator in our car break while we were in Branson, Missouri. I pulled over to the side of the road, put the hood up on my car, and within a few minutes, somebody was willing to offer, somebody offered to drive me to O'Reilly so I could go buy the parts to replace it. Well, not only did I need the T connector, I also needed the tools to do it because all my tools were at home in Tennessee. So we bought the parts and the tools, and then the very next day we went back and returned the tools. So just very, very gently used pliers and.
I'm not even surprised. I totally expected it.
Yeah, I've been there, Tony. You can do it. Just be gentle with the tools. Don't break them or get them filthy, and you can make it happen.
Yeah, see, the thing was, I was at home, and I know I'll need those tools again eventually, so I'm just going to keep them.
Yeah, I mean, that's completely reasonable and understandable, but when you're out of town on vacation and you just had to spend $120 that you weren't expecting, you absolutely want as much of that back as you can get. So.
I can understand that. So, and with things like pliers, it's a little bit different, I think, than like a hacksaw. So, that's that. I don't think that's a big deal at all. Like if you'd gone out and bought a circular saw and cut some boards to, I don't know, build a tailgate because your tailgate fell off, and then tried to return those, that might be a little different.
Yeah, I don't think you could get away with that.
Probably not.
Just, use it. You buy it. Don't use the saw it comes with.
The blade, yeah.
Yeah.
you save your cost on just using a blade that you bought at Walmart and then return the tool separately with the original blade.
Yeah, they're
There
not
you
going
go.
to check the mileage on that.
How many revolutions did this saw make? Man. If a saw had like an odometer on it so they could tell how much you've used it, that would be insane. Oh, well. So, Shannon, have you played anything this week? Why are video games not worth playing?
So I never said video games are not worth playing.
You're right. Those are my words, not yours.
You know, I will say that I purchased some video games. So I picked up that Toki Retro Collector Edition that came with like the little wood arcade machine kit, and I did install the game, get my Nintendo reward coins, and put together that little arcade machine thing, which is actually better than I expected it to be. I only picked it up because it was a kind of silly looking platformer on Switch for $10. And then I ended up buying a copy that's going to end up being a Christmas gift for my nephew. So it's, I don't know. It looks like it might be a fun game, but no. I mean, we're
the
in
little arcade thing looked really neat.
It is. It's surprisingly cool, and they put it together smartly. Like there's little rubber feet and bumper pads that go all around the places where the Switch touches, so you don't have to worry about scratching the screen. It's made out of I would say probably 1/4-inch plywood that was cut very precisely, and you put it together, and it has smart cutouts so you can actually charge the system while it's in it. I can very easily see this being like a little throw it on the coffee table, or like it doesn't very easily come apart, but if it did, I would say maybe this is a good throw it in a backpack and take it and have your a better dock for your Switch, because it's kind of nice. It works pretty well, and with the Super Nintendo 8-bit Do Super Nintendo Switch controller that I've got, this will be it'll make tabletop gaming a little more interesting. So
it's the perfect little thing to throw in if you want to play like Street Fighter and make it look like you're playing in an arcade.
Yeah, there you go. That's accurate. But no, as far as like playing games, I've played a whole lot of pool this week. We had our one of the things that we bought for this new house was we bought a pool table that converts into a dining table. So we've played a lot of pool over the past couple of days since
Haven't
I installed
eaten dinner at the table.
No, not at all, actually, because we are still waiting for a dining. We call them tablecloth. We're still waiting for a tablecloth that will fit this. We ordered the largest tablecloth that we could find, and it was long enough, but it was not wide enough to fit over top of the pool table.
So you buy 2 of those and then seam them together.
Yeah, we may end up going that route, but
wow.
In the meantime, we are trying to find one that will work without us having to jerry rig it together.
Yeah,
just buy a large blanket for a king size bed.
The concept of going to Joann Fabrics and buying a few yards of thick fabric has come up. So
nice.
I have plenty if you need some fabric. Well, I shouldn't say I have plenty. There's plenty in the house. I don't own any of it technically.
But that is pretty much all on my side. I know it's super interesting, the hottest of hot takes. I am what do you call it? It's not nesting, it's just settling.
Yeah, you're unpacking is what you're doing.
Yeah. a month later. We moved in a month ago, and we're still working on it. So,
Dude, you'll be unpacking for a year.
oh, please don't say that. Please don't say that. A part of my soul just died. Please don't say that.
You're never really done unpacking.
Oh man. Oh, I did play a video game. I
What did you
actually
play?
sorry, it just came to my mind as I'm holding my head in my hands thinking about unpacking a year down the road. No, I played the new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe demo on a Switch Lite in Target this week.
Okay.
And so we've I think all of us at this point have played a new Super Mario Brothers game, let alone the new Super Mario Brothers U game.
I own
But
all of the new Super Mario Brothers games.
okay, I had the chance to play that game on the Switch Lite, which is a really solid and nice feeling machine. But something that Micah pointed out to us in the line chat, the placement of the joystick, it just, I don't know if it's more cramped. Like, I guess it kind of is more cramped than the regular Switch controller, because like I had issues when I would, you hold Y to run and press B to jump in that game. When I would press B with my thumb, I would feel like my thumb was aggressively bumping the right analog stick. I I don't know how much more cramped the button placement is, but it just felt a little off. Not off enough to dissuade my interest in wanting one, because now
He owns
I'm
5.
no, I don't. I don't own 5. I did not buy one, but
Well, of
I mean,
course you're not going to buy them. They're going to steal them legally.
I'm still waiting to find out if they're going to do an Animal Crossing Special Edition one. That's going to be their make or break. Like
I bet they do.
If we get to launch day and they haven't announced one, then I will go out and play Animal Crossing on the Switch Lite that I will purchase the same day I pick up Animal Crossing. So that is the plan.
They'll come out with a Pop-Tart version.
I hope so. They've done really good with their Animal Crossing themed systems. I think they have all been winners, especially the new 3DS with the interchangeable faceplates. I bought every Animal Crossing faceplate, imported the fancy ones from Japan that we never got here, and then when the official Nintendo website store opened up their shop and started putting those faceplates on, I made some very poor financial decisions. I am all about Animal Crossing stuff on my system. So, but yeah, so impressions on the Switch Lite, it feels really solid. I like the D-pad. I think the D-pad on it feels good. I heard some complaints about it not having as much vertical travel as like a DS Lite. Like it doesn't have that real mushy feeling that a lot of people want out of a Nintendo D-pad, but I thought it was pretty good. It's a good cross between if you've ever played a DSi. The DSi had a really clicky D-pad. It's a good mix between that and a DS Lite. So I think it would make a big difference in some side-scrolling games. So. But yeah.
See, I don't really mind. I've gotten to where I don't mind the split buttons in any way. I mean, I understand, Nintendo makes the best D-pads in the business.
Yeah.
And I imagine it would probably be better, but I don't have any complaints about the Switch buttons.
I cannot play Celeste with the Switch buttons. Like I can't do it, and I can't do it with an analog stick. If I am playing a game like Celeste or VVVVVV, I am playing it with an external controller, like the 8-bit Do I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know how my kids play platformers with an analog stick. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, I can't do it.
But they look at me like I'm a psycho for using a D-pad to play a game.
I can do both.
Kid, I grew up before the analog stick was a thing.
You grew up when inverted controls were the norm.
I still, man, inverted controls for life. I don't care.
I have I okay, funny story because Travis and I have had this conversation when we were playing Gears 5 a couple months ago um, about the camera controls.
Hmm.
I put a hat on his head, turned it around backwards, and then used the hat on his head, pulling it down to make him look up, pulling it up to make him look down. Like I used that hat to help him understand how inverted controls work.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for kids of this generation.
I guess not, but I don't know. It's just if a game doesn't let me invert the controls, it's basically unplayable.
I can respect that.
I can't.
But that is it for me
Sad
officially.
now.
I am done.
All right, Ethan. What about you?
So I said I was gonna get a game review up and done this. I said that last week I would have it done this week. I ended up having issues with my ISP, so I spent a lot of time on the phone with them, and it was just easier to turn on the nearest game console, and it happened to be my PlayStation Classic Mini that was hooked up,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided I'm gonna just play Tomba.
What is Tomba?
Tomba is a 1997 PlayStation 1 release. It's a
Okay.
side-scrolling action-adventure video game developed by Whoopee Camp and was published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It came out in '97 in Japan, '98 in North America, and the PAL region. For those of you over in the PAL region, it was called Tombi. So if you were confused what I meant by Tomba, that there we go.
Okay.
Uh, man, it's kind of nice returning to an old platforming game that you just really enjoyed but never owned yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I need to buy a legal copy still. Anyway, uh, this this game has a lot of charm in my opinion, but it is not the best game to play.
Okay.
It's developed to play kind of like an RPG where you have stats to build up on certain things, and you're off doing a whole bunch of little fetch quests here and there, while trying to progress a story that can be short or long depending on how you go about it. Uh, but you play as a pink-haired character named Tomba, who only wears shorts and seems to have grown up in the wilds or something. I don't
Okay.
understand. I don't understand his background very well on that. Uh, he's he sees some pig people attacking some caravan or something, and they're stealing all the gold. And he wears a gold bracelet, and he's attacking these pigs, trying to save the day. He gets knocked out, wakes up, and his gold bracelet that his grandfather person left him is now gone. And so there's your plot. You got to fight the pigs to get the gold bracelet back. Along the way, you discover there's 7 evil pigs, and you gotta go through the zone where the pig has cast their spells. Find the bag. Find the location outside of that zone where the pig's gate is, so you can get inside. And you have to throw the pig bosses, one of the 7 pigs, into the corresponding bag to capture each one. And I mean, there's a little more to the plot, but I mean, I'm not going to spoil the 20 some odd year old game at this point. Oh, 21-year-old game. There we go. And
I think it's probably safe to spoil a 20-year-old game.
nah. But I did send you those pictures that I thought was funny.
Yes.
I compared it to Dragon Ball's. Yeah, Dragon Ball. I sent Tony a picture. It's just there's various power ups you can get through throughout the game. Like there's 3 crystals that'll change your hair color, and then there's another thing you can do to change the hair color as well. So I sent Tony pictures like pink hair, and then Tomba with green hair. Then it's well, it was Super Tomba God,
Yeah.
and then it was Super Tomba God Super Tomba, and then it just the next one is Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, you were trying to go all Super Saiyan on me.
Oh, I mean, you equip the Windstone, his hair turns green. Equip the water, it's blue. Equip the fire, it's red. Eat the weird mushroom, or equip the psychic fish. His hair turns white and his body turns black. So yeah, that was the thing. Outside of that, what Tony was mentioning at the start of the show, I put more time into the Super Mario World level building stuff I've been doing.
Hmm.
This is not Super Mario Maker related at all.
No, you've been working on the PC, right?
Yes, I'm still working on working with a program called Lunar Magic, and it basically just grab a ROM of Super Mario World and you open it in that program, and you're building, or it'll open up the levels in the game, and you can pick a level and just clear it out and start making your own. It's pretty easy to use once you learn how to use it. And then it can get extremely complicated and more difficult if you want to be more into the customizations, like different music that doesn't belong to the game, maybe different graphics that are from other games and such. Which I haven't gotten into any of that. I do want to bring in other Super Nintendo music at some point. I'm
Yeah.
thinking maybe like Super Mario RPG, Turtles in Time, stuff like that. You know, some of the bigger hits, really.
Yeah.
And what I ended up doing, I actually completed World 1-1 from Super Mario Brothers today. It is completely playable. Every, uh, it is almost 1-to-1 on block placement. I do know the pipe
Yeah.
shortcut. That one is not 1-to-1 because the screen space did not match what my uh, grid grid space was on there.
It's pretty close.
So I can go and fix it, and it's not that big a deal. But it's not. I mean, it doesn't. It's not going to affect anything. It's just a shortcut. Who cares? But I mean, I think it's. I thought it was pretty good. Although 1-1 does not work very well for Super Mario World.
No, it really doesn't. The physics and the gameplay mechanics are just different enough that it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I really think it's just the spacing of everything on there is really bad. Like I could probably space it out by about another half of the entire level, and maybe expand everything a little bit more vertically, and it would probably work a lot better. But I mean, if you're like me and Tony, you're always holding Y the run button when playing Super Mario World, so you're at full speed at all times, or trying to be. And it's like by the time you're getting up to P speed on there, as the professionals call it, you're already losing that speed because you have to jump and you're going to hit a wall or something. And so it's kind of just take it slow and go, really.
Yeah.
But with that, the understanding I gained from doing all that, I can probably go back and uh, do some more fun stuff. I do have more tutorial videos I need to go back and watch. And once I plan to do something with like 10 to 12 levels. And I do know Tony gets to be guinea pig. And so I'll get to take into consideration for how difficult stuff is and whether I need to dumb it down. Because I'm not going full blown Kaizo. Because one, even I don't understand half the Kaizo tricks on how to pull them off myself for testing. But I could probably pull off a simple thing like the shell jumps on there, just a simple double shell jump of it, if anything. So so that's what I've been doing.
Okay.
What's that noise?
It was something on my computer just started making noise. I turned it off.
Cool.
So, well, all right. So let's see. Before I start, I just want to say Call of Duty Mobile is insanely fun. That's all I want to say about the game. I hate the icky free to play stuff, but the actual Call of Duty gameplay itself is really, really fun.
That video I used last week, that was not you playing, but that guy was doing amazingly well.
I don't know if it's just because of the way it is, being on mobile, and it just is probably easier than the console versions, but I'm doing insanely good on there. Um, I don't know if it's really good at matchmaking or what's going on, but I am my KD ratio is much higher on mobile than it is on console. So
Interesting to know.
if you're wanting to play a Call of Duty game that will make you feel like you know how to play Call of Duty, you might check out Call of Duty Mobile because it's really good. But no, I've been Overwatch came out on the Switch this week.
Hooray!
I have not been playing Overwatch.
Hooray!
I have been playing Paladins.
Hooray!
So, like every night this week, Jake and Patrick and I all have sat down on the couch and played at least 2 hours of Paladins, and had a crazy ton amount of fun. Trying out some different characters now. My main has always been Saris, but I've been trying to find a character in each class to get really good with, so that no matter what class I need to pick, I have a character that I can have fun with.
Did you try the Paladin?
The what?
The Paladin.
All of them are well, not all of them are paladins. Only some of them are paladins. Not all of them are. No. So there's 4 classes. If you don't know what the game is, there's
The Paladin,
flank.
the Paladin, the Paladin, and Paladin.
Yes, they're all the paladin class. You have the super paladin, the mega paladin, the regular paladin, and then the garbage paladin. You don't really want to be that guy.
Unless you're just really good as that Paladin.
I think his name is Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus.
Bring in the ruckus.
So no, there's flank, damage, frontline, and support. Those are the 4 classes.
Oh, I thought those were the names.
No. There's 43 characters in the game. I couldn't even begin to name them all. And so each character fits into one of those 4 classes. Saris, my main, is a support class, so she's good at healing, buffing your party, and can do damage. The other character that I've gotten really, really good this week is Tyra, who is, I think, a damage class. She runs around with a machine gun, and she has grenades. She has like a grenade launcher that's attached to the gun, and then she can throw out Molotov cocktails to help either damage opponents, put pressure on checkpoints where enemies would normally just kind of stand around. You can toss a firebomb on there and keep enemies away from it, or use that to force them to go to specific parts of the map. And I've gotten really, really good with her. I really, really like her as a damage class. Flank, I can't find a flank character to save my life that I'm really good with.
Well, you have to flank. You can't just go head on against an enemy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Even playing on the flanks, I can't find those characters. rely a whole lot on hit and run tactics, and I haven't found one that I'm really good with.
Runnings for wimps. Attack.
Just straight ahead. Don't worry about the damage. You'll be fine. So I need to play through a couple of the other ones. I don't have access to all the characters though. The game's free to play, so you start out with there's like 9 characters in the roster that you can choose from, and some of those get rotated out on a regular basis. So those characters are constantly changing, and if there's one character that if you haven't unlocked a character, it may be possible for them to drop out of the rotation. You wouldn't be able to use them. And I haven't bought the entire roster because I think it's $30 if you want to just unlock the entire roster at one time, and then you don't have to worry about trying to unlock them through gameplay, which you can do. It takes a while to earn enough gold to unlock characters. So, but the game itself, I've probably talked about it on the show before, but it's really it's a lot of fun. For free to play game, it runs really smoothly. It's solid 60 frames a second. I think panic button worked on the port of this. I don't remember though. It might not be, and I may just want panic button to have been the development team that worked on this.
They're your go-to for every time you think someone made a game on the Switch.
They work magic on the Switch, so what can I say? No, but it's it's been a lot of fun, and I imagine we're going to be playing this for quite a while now. I've told people on Twitter this week, up to the point of Luigi's Mansion release, I could be playing this every night. I've got other games I should be playing, but I just want to play Paladins all the time. What was I going to say? Don't remember. So we'll skip it. That's all I've been playing though, with the exception of Call of Duty. You know, if I've got a break at work, or if I'm sitting on my lunch break and I'm not reading a book, I'll pull out my phone and play a few minutes of Call of Duty on my phone, which is something I didn't think I would ever say. First of all, it's Call of Duty. Second of all, it's a mobile game, and I've been having way too much fun playing Call of Duty on my phone, which has surprised me to no end.
If you're enjoying yourself, that is all that matters.
Well, it's true. That's very true. So, yeah. And then the other thing that I put a little bit of time in every now and then is Asphalt on the Switch, which I continue to play if I can pull myself away from Paladins.
Okay.
But we're a couple weeks out now from the release of Luigi's Mansion, and that's all I want to play right now. I can't. I saw those pictures in the video from this event that Nintendo did, I think yesterday, where they had people come in and into a room that looked like one of the levels from Luigi's Mansion, and they got to play through the game. And I was very jealous when I saw those videos.
As one would be, yes.
Yeah, I think I may pull out the Wii and play the first Luigi's Mansion sometime in the next few days, just to get that Luigi's Mansion, to scratch that itch and then get myself ready for Luigi's Mansion 3. So I can play through that game in like 5 hours, so it won't take very long. But that is it for me. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we will talk about the news. All right. So speaking of Luigi's Mansion, one of the things in the news this week is that you knew people were going to ask, because there's a dog in the game, can you pet the dog? The answer is yes, you can pet Polterpup.
Yay.
It has nothing to do with anything, but you can pet the dog in Luigi's Mansion 3.
That's the thing now, man. If there's an animal in a game, the internet asks if you can pet it. And if you can't pet it, they tell the developers.
I still say the foxes in Link's Awakening are not fox, or they are foxes, not dogs. And so the Can You Pet the Dog Twitter account, I still say they're wrong. Just because the
in
instruction booklet said they were mutts doesn't mean they're dogs.
in the Game Boy version, you could maybe say, okay, that looks like a dog, but in the Switch version, those are clearly foxes.
They've always looked like foxes.
So, but in Luigi's Mansion 3, you can pet Polterpup, and it is adorable when Luigi does it. I'll get to the first news story at the end.
Okay.
Cuphead. Have you guys played Cuphead?
No.
Yeah, buddy.
It is a fantastic game. You should play it.
I've seen it played. I think I saw the Mexican runner play it once. Not sure if that was in person or not.
It is really good. If you haven't played it, I think you'd like it. But Cuphead is going as multimedia as they can possibly get, because we already know that sometime in the future they are getting an animated show on Netflix.
Yes,
There's
they
been
are.
no timetable for when it's going to come out. I imagine it could be a while because that animation will take a while to do. Because if they do it like they did the video game, it is all hand drawn, all very old school.
What they're gonna do is take all the money they made for this game, build a time machine, go and win the lottery so they have more money, go back in time and pay people back when rubber banding animation was still the thing to do that, and then they'll pop back to this time and be like, here.
It's been lost in the archives.
They maintain the structure of the timeline, and they get to keep doing what they're doing.
There you go. There you go. That the DLC for that game that was supposed to come out, we're not getting until next year, so we've got that to look forward to still. But in addition to the Netflix show, they have just also announced that they are doing a book for Cuphead. It is called
like
Cuphead,
a novel or
like an actual. I don't know that it's like a full-on novel. It's what they're calling it is a mid-grade book. So it's going to be for like I think upper middle schoolers. Is kind of who it's being targeted towards.
Okay.
And it will have chapters and stuff, but I don't think it's not going to be like 300 pages or anything like that.
You know what? I'm on board with this because the perfect message to give to young teenagers is don't deal with the devil. That is the perfect message.
I mean, that's true. This is not called don't deal with the devil. This is called Cuphead and Carnival Chaos.
Well, shoot a hole in my silly joke there. Thanks, Johnny.
If they wanted to novelize the game, I would read that too. Like, just put that out and give me a play-by-play of the entire game in novel form with some cool some not animations, but some cool illustrations. I guess we could do animated books if they do an ebook, but
Every few pages becomes like a stack of pages where it's just a flip book.
You know what? There are some Kindle books that have motion.
There are, and they're really neat to look
yeah.
at.
I like my solution to y'all's modern day problem better.
You're going analog with the animation. That'd be kind of cool, actually. It would make the book feel a little weird, I think. But,
be a big
I'd
book.
be all for that. This will be out on March 3rd, 2020, and they're saying that it will include 20 brand new illustrations for Cuphead. And they give you a little basic plot rundown here in the news story I read, and they said it's a special day on the Inkwell Isles. Elder Kettle's birthday. Yes, sirree, it's a very special day. So Cuphead and Mugman need to find the perfect gift to honor their beloved mentor. But along the way, the brothers and their new friend, Miss Chalice, are captivated by the sights and sounds of the carnival that just rolled into town. Despite Elder Kettle's warning that the attraction is filled with liars and thieves, the trio get reeled in. At the carnival, the friends are bamboozled and burgled by enemies old and new. Will they escape the chaos and get their gift before it's too late?
Nope.
Probably not. They're going to have to make a deal with the devil.
I don't know.
And see, the problem with a book though is that you don't get the awesome King Dice theme, and you don't get to hear that playing in your head while you're reading the
Again,
book.
that cool technology that they have in some greeting cards where you open it up and it sings "Happy Birthday" to
Oh
you.
man, yes.
Just imagine if they put that same little crappy tinny speaker in the book. So it's saying "I'm Mr. King Dice" to you when you read the book.
Oh, man, I want everything. I want the ultimate book that we are describing here, with flip book animation, terrible greeting card speakers. Oh, that sounds amazing.
It's a money making idea.
I will read this book. I don't care. I don't even care if it was for a kindergartner. I would read a Cuphead book. So there you go. Cuphead is getting its first novel to go along with a TV show and a video game. So, speaking of video game TV shows, though, Mega Man has one of those.
Does he?
Yeah. Uh, I have not seen a single episode of Mega Man Fully Charged.
Really?
I've seen like
Not
5 minutes.
not one. I have not seen a single episode.
It's not horrible.
No.
But Ethan, you've got here in the news, or
Yeah.
somebody that it's
Mega Man Fully Charged. Apparently, the first season is showing up on YouTube to be
that's a
watched.
strange place for it.
Well, no one else was watching it anywhere else on the online
Okay.
or whatever, so I might as well just make it free.
Okay.
Throw in advertisements, make money.
At least they didn't make it like a YouTube premium show.
YouTube Red.
So that's the best going to be the best thing about Cobra Kai season 3 is you don't have to have YouTube premium to watch it.
I haven't seen seasons 1 or 2 yet either.
Man, it's so good. You need to watch it.
I can't remember how I've watched Fully Charged. Like, we don't
It was on
have,
TV.
We don't have cable though. Like it was a Cartoon Network joint that started in
Hulu
August of last year. It had to have come up on Hulu with
I
Travis.
think I'm pretty sure it was on Hulu.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I can verify that real quick. Hold on. Mega Man Fully Charged.
I should probably give the show a shot and see what I think of it.
I know Travis liked it. We typically set him up with 30 minutes of TV time before bed, and he gets to pick anything from the kids section of Hulu or Netflix. So I'm 100% certain this popped up, and I convinced him to watch an episode and ended up watching it with him before bed.
Yeah.
So
My kids have been watching the newest season of Pokemon. Like they don't watch a ton of stuff, but like the newest episodes, the newest season of Pokemon.
Okay. Yeah, the new Pokemon is great. Like ever since they did the Sun and Moon transition, the new animation style, the new art direction, and everything that they're going with for the TV show is really well done.
Yeah.
Maybe y'all watched.
It was a positive change of direction.
Maybe y'all watched Fully Charged on Cartoon Network's website. No, I cannot figure this out.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it pop up somewhere, but I thought it was Hulu, but it might have been Netflix.
Streaming on
I don't
Cartoon
know.
Network's website as usual. You can watch on the app, on demand, on your local cable provider. Blah blah.
Or maybe I saw it flipping through TV one time, and that's where I saw it.
I don't know. It's like a weird 3D animated series, kind of.
CG.
Yeah. CG animated series.
It's very heavy on the don't be bad, do good, and while Mega Man's like getting corrupted, and he's like, no, I have to be good.
Does he get the Robo Flu?
I do know he's like fighting Flame Man at some point, and then he's like using Flame Man's ability, and Flame Man's right next to him, helping or something. I don't know. It's a little weird.
Maybe I'll watch it someday.
It wasn't horrible. I mean, we've had worse Mega Man.
Have we? Even Captain N was.
Mega Bite. Yes.
Uh,
There's the word mega on everything.
I mean, you have to.
Then Kid Icarus says Icarus or something at the end of everything.
And for some reason, Simon Belmont talked about pachinko all the time. I'm not sure what that was about.
While wearing a pompadour and looking at himself in the mirror.
Somebody say pachinko?
Shh, no, nobody said anything about pachinko.
Don't give him the idea, Shannon.
No pachinko. What we can talk about though is for anybody that likes retro video games, and you like to take
of the portable kind.
I was gonna say, and you can take those retro video games on the go with you. We're talking specifically like Game Boy and Game Boy Color for the moment,
And Game Boy Advance.
and Game Boy Advance. The Analog Pocket have pre-orders started for this?
I don't know.
This is a
Wait, yeah, I think they did.
This is a portable, basically a Game Boy Advance that is made by a third party that looks sort of like a Game Boy Pocket. That's what it looked most like to me.
A very thin Game Boy Pocket.
Yeah.
It's like 2 Game Boy cartridges thick. That's about how thick that is.
If the Game Boy Pocket, or not the Game Boy Pocket, yeah, the Game Boy and a DS Lite had a baby, it would look kind of like that. And right now they're saying that it will play Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color games, but they have plans for. I saw like they're talking about adapters for things like Game Gear games.
Was Atari Linux,
Yeah.
Whatever that animal is.
Yeah, Lynx.
And I think there was like 2 others. I cannot remember what they were.
No Wonder Swan, no deal.
Wonder Swan was not mentioned at all. I wouldn't be surprised if they. Well, wait. Wonder Swan was mostly Japanese, so they wouldn't do that here. It's D-pad, 4-button gameplay on there. Plays actual game carts, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, you plug your cartridges into it. It's got like a 1440p screen. It's like a really high resolution screen.
Yes, which explains where most of the cost is going. I would assume for the low price of $200.
Yeah, it's expensive. Like, that's the one thing that's keeping me from being like, you know what, I'd really like to have one of these things.
It's pretty neat because it plays the old carts. I mean, but the downside is like me and Shannon, we've dealt with Raspberry Pis and stuff, so it's like, I mean, that tech's cool and all, but the cost of the tech involved in this,
And like, I just bought a Pocket Go at the beginning of the summer this year, and that thing is it's pretty darn spot on for all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen those for sale at like Radio Shack here in town.
Right.
I've thought it over. I'm still thinking it over.
This Analog Pocket also has a micro SD card slot, so they're not saying that it has emulator functionality, but a lot of their older products have. So people are expecting that you'd be able to just pop an emulator on this thing and play whatever you want.
Even if it didn't have an emulator, someone would program one on there really quick eventually.
That's probably true. That's probably true. I've toyed with the idea of doing or having someone do like a portable Raspberry Pi for me. I don't know. I haven't looked seriously at what the costs would be, so maybe it's comparable to something like this. But one other thing about this one, though, that they've shown is that it has a Switch-like dock that you plug this thing into, and it will connect to your TV, and you can play on your TV as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So it has wireless controller support, so you can hook up any Bluetooth controller to it and play on your TV.
Did you know Hyperkin has the Smart Boy adapter for your mobile phone?
I did not.
So it turns that into a Game Boy.
Oh, I've seen that. It's a little shell.
Yeah, it's a
pop
shell.
your
It covers
phone
up
into.
like the bottom half of your phone,
Yeah.
and then you actually slot in a Game Boy cart and play Game Boy games. That's $44 on Amazon right now, brand new.
Seems like a pretty decent deal.
Yeah, just gotta make sure it fits your phone.
Yeah. So, if you are in the mood for
This one's designed for
some,
Samsung. Ooh.
I have a Motorola phone. I don't know if it'd work for mine, but we'd have to see. But if you are in the mood for some retro handheld goodness, you might check this thing out and see if it's something you're interested in. It is $200, which I do think is a little pricey.
It does look really nice though.
It's a black, but is it a matte black or is it like a glossy black? I couldn't really tell.
I'm pulling the image up real quick. It looks like it's matte,
Okay.
and the screen on there's got the gloss border around it.
Yeah. The screen looks
There's a
really
black one
nice.
and there's a white one. The four buttons are in a cross shape, and then the it's like a Super Nintendo controller where the Y and X buttons are in innies and the A and B are outies. I guess you could call that. And then there's like three other buttons on the bottom right of the console. So I know Shannon, you've had issues where you press buttons that are in various places like that by mistake.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they do. I'm sure one of them's like a home button or something, I guess, or sound. So they might need to rethink the placements on those.
Mm. So the screen itself is 3.5 inches, 1600 by 440 resolution, and it does say that already it will support Game Gear, Neo Geo, Pocket Color, and Atari Lynx. Though you'll have to buy those adapters separately.
Yes. And you can hook up a 8-bit DOE Bluetooth controller or wired USB remote if you're playing it through the TV.
The dock's really kind of interesting looking. It's basically it's a little square box. I mean, it's really thin, square little thing that has a round tube on the back that the system rests against. I can't really tell by looking at it how it actually holds the.
I'm wondering if that's
system.
just a placeholder design.
Maybe.
But I mean, if that's the actual thing, that's pretty neat.
So
A little weird.
Pre-orders have not officially opened, though you can sign up to be notified of when you can buy one. They'll ship sometime in 2020. It comes with a rechargeable battery. You can remap the buttons to however you want them to be. So if you want to switch some of the buttons around, you can do that. It does support, or they say it supports, original link cables for the Game Boy. So you could do multiplayer games that way. The dock will output the TV. It has two USB slots for controllers.
Okay, this is not emulating. This is actually just playing right off the hardware.
Okay.
I pulled up the actual website.
Yeah, I'm looking through their website as well. So yeah, it's a really, really nice looking system.
The analog dock? Yeah, it is just a square and a circle.
Yeah, I can't tell exactly how it actually holds the system. It looks like it would just fall over.
I'd be a little concerned about that too.
So, yeah, the price is the only thing that keeps me from being like, you know what, I want to buy one of these right now. So, but there you go. That will be it for the news. We don't have any listener feedback this week, but I do wanted to say we have a question that we wanted, the question of the week for everybody, and I'll ask you guys, and then the listeners can send in their responses to it as well. Halloween is coming up, so I just wanted to know what your favorite Halloween-themed video games were. My wife saw this question on Facebook earlier today, and she gave me her answer. And she said Maniac Mansion was hers.
Good choice. Very good choice. Good game.
Absolutely.
So
played that just a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I think we all know the answer for me. I don't even think I need to say it.
Bullet Witch.
It's Super Mario Brothers. No, Luigi's Mansion, obviously, for me.
Okay.
But a very, very close runner-up to that would be Costume Quest, which I think is probably the perfect Halloween-themed video game. Since, in the game you do go trick-or-treating. And you're dressed in costumes. So it's basically a Halloween emulator.
Right.
And also, speaking of Costume Quest, Shannon, you told me about this. I haven't actually had a chance to watch the second set of episodes yet, but Costume Quest on Amazon is a really good show. It's a really fun show, especially if you're a fan of the games. I have watched.
Very, very good.
I've watched the first season. This is actually, I guess, the second half of the first season is what they're calling it. But I have watched the first half of episodes. I just haven't watched the second half yet.
Now, I don't know about an actual Halloween game for me per se, but I'm probably going to work on either Corpse Party or Danganronpa this year. So there's that.
What about you, Shannon? Any Halloween themed or games you like to play around Halloween?
Animal Crossing.
That's every holiday.
Yeah, buddy. It's the every game.
If there's a holiday, Animal Crossing is going to be played in the Reifenberg household.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I will also pose that question to the listeners. What is your favorite Halloween-themed game, or what game do you like to play around the Halloween time period? I'd be really curious to know. So, any other last-minute things from you guys before we end the show?
I have nothing.
All right. Well, I guess that will be the show for this week. So thank you, Shannon, for being on the show.
Pleasure.
And thank you, Ethan.
Yep. Witty comment before leaving the show.
That's the perfect end right there. If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/PGENT. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/ProGenInt. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.